Welcome to my channel. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Rhea Ripley Mommy will be joining forces with Damian Priest for a major mixed tag team fight that will take place at the Bash in Berlin, according to the announcement made by WWE. In order to compete with Liv Morgan and Dominic during the Bash in Berlin, Mysterio was hoping to get revenge for the betrayal at the newly formed members of Judgment Day or SummerSlam. I need this victory more than the two that I've had recently. Infant faces that were customized specifically for the sake of the narrative. Here, we take a look at three justifications why Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan are so popular, ought to prevail over the Terror Twins at the Battle event hosted by WWE in Berlin. Thus, without further ado, now, let's start with one of the statements from on the day of the new judgment, the WWE Bash in Berlin. WWE Raw is currently airing the new Judgment Day. Encompasses A. Baylor, Finn A. Morgan, Liv to Dominic, a Mysterian, both J.D. McDonough and the Corrido is the heel faction, and they adhere to the no policy of the leader since the creation of an epic, a scheme to betray Rhea Ripley and the other people involved, Priest Damian, during the course of their respective matches for the championship at the SummerSlam. On the other hand, the gang has found inferior to the terrifying twins that are located on the red. Particularly this week, Morgan has developed a brand. A number of unsuccessful attempts to flee the Ripley, while Baylor has managed to avoid confrontation with Damian Priest on a bodily level. The Day of Judgment would require a decisive victory above the two prior members in order to get. After adamantly stating that they have credibility, you don't require Mommy and the Archer of the infamousness on their side, Ripley, T. Ripley, and face of the Priest Damian, evil spirits from the past. An example of one of the most typical story moments in the plots of Triple H involve former members of the heels are confronted with the repercussions of their activities carried out by Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest. While their tenure in the military, they were cruel. Day of Judgment, which is terrifying everyone in the manner in which they likewise made recurrent use of the advantage of numbers to achieve large gains. The triumphs, it is reasonable to assume that Liv, Dominic Mysterio, and Morgan Mysterio made use of the same lead to secure their significant victory. As the couple attends the WWE Bash in Berlin, they do not. A decisive victory over the Terror is required. Instead, we might see Finn Baylor, who is a twin, contribute significantly to the success of the members of Judgment Day have emerged victorious. As a means of adding salt to the wounds of the three major rematches between former buddies because of the meddling of WWE Bad Blood, Finn Baylor, and the possibility of Liv Morgan achieving victory. Additionally, Dominic Mysterio will arrange for a large number of matches with the label Bad Blood. This indicates that the PL is anticipated to include aggressive fights that are the outcome of harshly feuds between individuals on Raw, and during SmackDown, there are not a lot of competitions on WWE television that correspond to the storyline during the Day of Judgment, which was loaded with we deal with heartbreaks, betrayals, and vengeance. It is possible that Finn Baylor may make a timely interfere with one another and avoid a pinfall. He is preparing for his resentment bout against. Additionally, it will be the Damian Priest at Bad Blood. It is permissible for Ripley to request a match against. It was only when Morgan was forced into, in the event that Ripley is a potential gauntlet match, outperform every other competitor in order to confront. The Women's World Championship is being held, advancing to the championship match against Morgan, with the enthusiasm for WWE being fueled by Bad Blood. In Berlin, the Bash event creates the opportunity for unforeseen turns and twists are more likely to occur. ever one of the most anticipated events of all time. The mixed tag is the one that matches on the card. A battle between two teams featuring the explosive combo up. The fight between Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan, a priest, and the intimidating Rhea Ripley, both of whom this is not merely a matter of personal preference. Vengeances or faction fights. While Ripley and Priest have been focusing on the future of WWE, Pride is about laying the groundwork for the wrestling industry. Under the context of the Judgment Day, major forces, there is a substantial amount of evidence that it is expected that Mysterio and Morgan will emerge triumphant in the Dominic and all of the Berlin One redemption team. Asterisk, that is alive. Asterisk, I am Dominic Mysterio. As well as Liv Morgan, her life has been a roller coaster. A trip through Dominic's early troubles in WWE to the present day, move out of the shadow cast by his father and into Liv's struggle for recognition within the women's section. Both superstars have been subjected to division. Their correct proportion of difficulties. Their alliance is a representation of one-of-a-kind connection comprised of mutual respect, individual experiences that are shared, underappreciated in terms of Dominic. Here is the match. In addition to being a fight, it is an opportunity to show that he is capable of standing on his own. Confronted with competitors such as Rhea Ripley, among the most prominent Damian priests, terrifying figures in WWE at the present day, recent performances of Dominic have been noteworthy. However, he has only showed glimpses of his talent. A victory at the WWE Bash in Berlin would solidify the position he holds as a credible danger in the business. On the other hand, Liv Morgan has referred to consistently being an opponent despite the considerable talent she possesses. She is frequently disregarded in favor of other people, older and more seasoned. Nevertheless, Liv's tenacity and never give up are stars. Assume it is her die attitude that has won her over. For the whole WWE Universe, a victory in Berlin would be the ideal conclusion of her in every way. A journey that demonstrates that she is more than having the ability to defeat the most prominent stars in the business. That Dominic and Liv do together are a new representation of the future of WWE. A new breed of celebrities who are prepared to tackle a victory against Ripley and the spotlight. They would not only be redeemed by the priest for any they have suffered in the past, but also raise them up to the level of main event, so establishing their place in the history of WWE 2, where the cracks in the Day of Judgment, the asterisk, mark the Judgment Day faction with an asterisk. Priest, Rhea Ripley, Damian is included in this group, as well as Finn Balor, who has been a powerhouse competition in WWE for. On the other hand, as is the case with any group, success carries with it the germs of discord and turmoil. Recently, there's been a lot of tension, making beer within the group generally, and in especially between the differences between Ripley and the priest. Disagreements regarding leadership styles and methods. Egos have started to manifest, and a legislation has been written. Perhaps the final WWE Bash will take place in Berlin. Straw that causes the group to become more divided. Ripley is notorious for her vicious level of hostility, and unflinching assurance has always been present. On the Day of the Judgment, served as the foundation. Notwithstanding this, her growing concentration on her ability to retain control and impose herself, it has begun to alienate her due to her domination.